Hey, welcome to Bugbox Studio. This is the first video on this channel where I'll work on a project called Babel. It's a dark fantasy world-building project I've created, inspired by ancient mythology and biblical lore, and centered around the idea of a gigantic and mythical tower that is the Tower of Babel. Other things I get inspiration from are the Soulsborne games. I do really love how those games build and present their own world and respective stories. The idea with this channel is to record my process as I work on developing this world and share with you the bits of the lore, design process, and whatever I think might be interesting. What you can see in the background is what I drew for the Tower of Babel. My goal was to design something that will look interesting from afar, since to figure out all the little architectural details, I'll first need to define each floor's aesthetic. Now here's a bit of context for the World of Babel. From the original chaos emerged the first primordials, gods embodying the very concept that makes the world. As they begin to shape the chaos into their image, one primordial among them created a keystone, capable of maintaining the newly born universe form and preventing it from collapsing back into chaos. Followed the Age of Primordials, during which the gods warred against each other, driven by the predatory and expansionist instincts so characteristic of their kind. Yor had created bleached skies, washed white by a scorching sun, and wished the whole universe resembled his domain. The Leviathan had created a blackened abyss, torn by deep tentacular currents, and wished the whole universe resembled his domain. The Star Sisters had created an unending night, with more stars than the sky could hold, and wished the whole universe resembled their domain. The Great Dragon had created endless storm, lacerated by thunderous lightning, and wished the whole universe resembled his domain. In the middle of this turmoil were born the Ancient Men, powerless creatures stranded on a small piece of the universe, stuck in the crossfire of the eternal war between the primordials. Amongst them was an ancient, who sought a way to protect his kind from the very gods that continuously shaped their world. For a century, the ancient scoured the universe until he returned with the keystone. He rose above his brethren as Nemron, king of the ancient and keeper of the keystone. Led by their new champion, the ancient fought to repel the primordials' invasion. However, primordials kept gaining more and more ground every day, and the situation seemed desperate for the ancients. Afraid he could not protect the keystone from the primordials, King Nemrod recruited 10 of his most trusted kin to build the Tower of Babel, a monumental fortress to protect his treasure and use his power to sever the link between the land of the ancient and the rest of the universe. In a desperate attempt, King Nemrod took the keystone at the top of the tower and sat upon his throne. Becoming the last piece the tower needed to fulfill its purpose. The primordial were repelled and began the Age of the Ancients. Now the Tower of Babel still rises in the land of the ancients, and at times call for pilgrims, mortal drawn to the tower, to enter its gates and ascend to its pinnacle. Now what you saw me sketch in this video is the current state of the Tower of Babel, slowly crumbling away as it loses power and the land of the ancients around it starts to slowly fade out. The tower itself is split in 10 levels or floors, one for each of the architect that I'll design later. I'm not really happy with the color sketch though. I feel it's gonna need a lot more atmospheric and dramatic lighting to evoke the ominous feeling that I'd like to go for. Also, I think designing some shots from the ground will help convey the scale of the tower, but I wanted to focus on the overall design rather than a specific view. That's all I have for today. I'm still not sure about the timeline of events and the names of the character, planes, and factions, so pretty much anything can be changed if I think it might work better another way. I do plan to tackle characters like the pilgrim, creatures, gods, faction, NPCs, as well as locations and props, and obviously more lore. See you in the next one.